Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alien vs. Predator Galaxy YouTube channel. This is Aaron Percival, aka Corporal Hicks, and joining me are usual cohorts
Ridgetop, aka Adam Zeller. Hey, everyone.
Xenomorphine, Eric Adams.
And we're back for another motion tracker video. And you probably don't even have to look at the title page or the title of the video or the cover art to know what this one's going to be, because today, after 3 years,
When was this announced? I think it was early 2018 or 2017. God, we should have prepared for this.
well, we've got 2018, January 2018. So yes, after 3 years, not quite as bad as Colonial Marines 6. We finally have our official announcement of Cold Iron Studios Aliens shooter game, and it is Aliens
Fireteam.
Fireteam. Which I have to say, I'm not keen on that as a title. I'm really not.
It's okay. I don't mind it. I mean, it's better than calling it Colonial Marines again, right?
Colonial Marines 2.
I mean, I've seen some of that going around, that this has ACM vibes, but hopefully done right this time around. I feel like enough time has passed that the negative association won't be there. But
that is always going to be there. That is never going to go. It's like IGN will constantly always get shit whenever they get any alien-related stuff.
For giving Isolation a lower score.
For giving Isolation such a bad score. You know, that was a whole thing when Blackout was coming out, and the Isolation digital series
Blackout had a really good score.
Yeah, but they did, but it was like, whoa, what are you doing when you give Isolation so much shit? You guys don't have legit cred to talk about Alien.
But in fairness, from what I remember, because I got into Colonial Marines, on the steep discount because of what I've heard about it. I got into it when multiplayer wasn't really an option anymore, but from what I've heard, the multiplayer of Colonial Marines was okay.
It was.
And
really good.
From this, I get that this is more of an emulation of the multiplayer side of ACM.
To be honest, I kind of feel like the ACM vibes are purely because it's Colonial Marines. They're both going to look the same.
Plus, there's a Crusher we can see in it. So
see, we were talking about that earlier off the air, and it seems like there's a bunch of them that have been given like Praetorian crests. So I'm not sure it's a Crusher.
Let's go through this. Let's go through this. Let's talk about the details.
Let's watch the trailer first, then, and then okay.
There are some places in the universe.
So yeah, there were 3 people coming in there.
Hmm.
Again, something we were talking about before the recording.
Yeah.
You don't fight alone.
I love that little callback to an old Aliens tagline.
What was that from?
So one of the unused ones was, there are some places in the universe you don't go alone. It might have been in some of the trailers.
Okay.
Of course,
Definitely looks like customizable weapons are going to be a big part of this game.
I would be surprised if they aren't.
Oh, that was a smart gun like flamethrower.
Yeah, see, I think it looks like the sonic weapon from Aliens Rogue. And what looks like a quick time
there was a ridge-headed alien there.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I think people are drawing Colonial Marine comparisons to, the facehugger holding.
Yeah, because there were quick time events in Colonial Marines, weren't they?
And there's the Queen.
At the end.
In case anyone is just assuming that's a
this
normal
summer,
animal.
Sooner than I expected, on last gen and next gen, now current gen consoles,
and Steam,
which is nice. I'm still hoping
it's not an Epic Games exclusive, and it's single player. It's already ahead of Hunting Grounds in those 2 respects.
Well, it's multiplayer focused, but you can play it single player. It's kind of like Ghost Recon Wildlands, right? That's meant to be played multiplayer, but
yeah, a lot of people have been drawing comparisons with Left 4 Dead, which is what, for me, I thought it was a 4-character thing, and it's not. It's 3.
Yeah.
But I very much get it's a cross between Colonial Marines multiplayer and Left 4 Dead, which, if they do it right, it's a decent template to draw from for a multiplayer.
I mean, at the end of the day, the cooperative aspect of Colonial Marines was super fun as well. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have there's always going to be the problems with the actual storyline of that thing.
Yes.
But playing it with your buds, with the sort of surface level customization that Colonial Marines had, because it did have some, there was some weapon
and
modding,
cosmetics.
Even with all the negativity going around that game, Aaron, I still remember the first time we played through Colonial Marines on Xbox 360, and we had a good time playing through it co-op. I mean, we were griping, we were making fun of some things, but yes, just the cooperative factor of getting on with your friends and shooting some aliens will be a good time, I think, and hopefully without all the problems that game had.
Indeed. So I guess first impressions then, guys. I mean, I think that looks pretty polished.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't just like. I think it looks decent, especially the lighting effects, which you really need in an Alien things, because shadow plays a big part in presentation. But I also thought what works well in its favor is the animation. The animation looks quite smooth.
Yeah, the animations for the aliens and the Marines look good.
Assuming it's reflective of the final product, the actual gameplay. Of course.
It does note it's an alpha in the in the trailer.
It may change.
The environment, which I guess it said was a refinery in orbit, looks pretty cool. Very both alien and aliens feeling in terms of its interiors.
There's some very sort of Nostromo-esque engineering sections, Sevastopol kind of engineering sections in the trailer that look good. They look good.
Yeah.
Should we have a look at some of these screenshots?
Which I wonder if it calls it a refinery, is this like one of the things the Nostromo was towing? Or is this a larger station? I guess.
It could be on the planet or anything, yeah.
It depends what the narrative around it is. Let's have a read through of the
press release
of the news article first. Yeah. Okay. So, oops, wrong button.
You should have had all this ready to.
I did. I was on the wrong thing there.
Yeah.
So this is the news article from our website from avpgalaxy.net. Darkness wrote this. None of us did, because we were all busy or asleep. Adam. So, Cold Iron Studios' new Alien game has finally been unveiled. Aliens Fireteam is a cooperative third-person survival shooter set in the year 2002, 23 years after the events of the Alien trilogy.
2202.
Okay, I don't remember what I said. Players will assume the role of a Colonial Marine stationed aboard the USS Endeavour. You'll play through 4 campaigns comprising of 3 missions.
It's not a Conrad reference this time.
No, I don't.
Usually the ships have a Conrad name, yeah.
I guess they were running out of things they could reference from his book.
It only had a finite.
The amount of characters and names and places.
Yeah.
You'll encounter 20 different. Oh, unless Endeavour is something in one.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
It's a pretty frequently used ship name, that is. You'll encounter 20 different enemy variations, including 11 different xenomorph types from facehuggers to Praetorians, each designed with their own intelligence to ambush, outsmart, and ultimately take down any Marines. There'll be 5 unique classes: Gunner, Demolisher, Technician, Doc, and Recon, each with their own special abilities and character perks. Players will be able to select from over 30 weapons and over 70 mods and attachments. So yes, Adam, I think weapon customization is going to be a big part of this.
But it's going to be like 15 different handguns with a tiny little statistical difference on them.
Hopefully not, but all I'm going to say is if the Veep isn't in this game, there is going to be all sorts of campaigns directed at Cold Iron for this. I had to harass Gasker to get the Veep put in the RPG. I want the Veep in this game.
I mean, it's not even a great looking pistol.
It is a gorgeous pistol. It is gorgeous.
It doesn't look futuristic at all. It looks out of place.
It did in the 80s, even though I'm pretty sure it was discontinued, by the time they were filming Aliens. Anyway, so a press release was sent out to all the sort of journo outlets, including us, and this piece is from that press release. So, Adam, do you want to read this bit?
Sure. This is a quote. With Aliens Fireteam, you and your friends will experience stepping into the boots of a squad of hardened colonial Marines fighting in the ultimate battle for survival, said Craig Zinkovich, head of Cold Iron Studios. This is the action game Aliens fans have been waiting for. Hordes of different xenomorphs swarming over ceilings and across walls, surrounding your team and striking from every angle. Work together, customize your character, utilize tons of weapons and gear, and, well, you just might get your Fireteam out alive. Set 23 years after the original Alien trilogy, Aliens Fireteam drops players into the role of a colonial marine aboard the USS Endeavour, recently tasked with answering a distress call from the outer colonies. Deploy to overrun facilities, abandoned ruins, and strange alien landscapes as you battle terrifying enemies across 4 campaigns with 2 friends or AI squad mates. Stunning visuals, realistic environments, powerful weapons, futuristic equipment, and an eerie soundscape heighten new alien storylines across a series of replayable missions that evoke and expand upon the blockbuster films. Facing over 20 intelligent enemy types from xenomorphs to Weyland-Yutani synthetics, players must utilize cover tactics and master team strategy to eradicate extraterrestrial threats that swarm through doors and vents, scramble across walls and ceilings, and strike from darkness with uncanny ferocity. 5 character classes, an expansive arsenal of customizable weapons and mods, character progression, and innovative advancement systems help even the odds in this heart-pounding shooter and place Aliens Fireteam in another dimension of co-op survival shooters. The unique challenge card system also lets players mutate each mission, offering a new experience with every playthrough.
And that's taken pretty much from Left 4 Dead, the mutation thing.
Was that something that game? I thought that was just enemies though.
It's been ages since. I just
Left 4
remember
Dead
from
had like a
multiplayer
dynamic difficulty system, I think. I was thinking when I heard the initial kind of description of this before this announcement, I was thinking a game Warframe where like you could squad up, and I know it's very different with the armors and the type of weaponry you're using with that, but you could squad up, you would do these short missions and then get back to your vessel. But that is very much a live service like looter slasher game, whereas we've discovered that this is not going to be a live service game, which is really surprising to me. I mean, that doesn't mean we won't get DLC for it. Like Aaron and I were talking right before we recorded this, like Star Wars Squadrons was not a live service game, which is pretty uncommon for that franchise too.
That gave it a lot of goodwill, that did.
It did give it some goodwill. At the same time, it's kind of a double-edged sword because then people really like the game. And they're like, we want more content. And they're already ending the content for that game. But they did have free content for that. And maybe they went for this. But there is an element of games like Predator Hunting Grounds where it's, we can maybe expect years of content for this game, which we might not get for this. But hopefully that core experience is strong enough that it won't matter. This will just be its condensed game, kind of more like games used to be, where we get a full game at release and we can enjoy that, and we get some updates that enhance that original experience.
I mean, there's nothing to say that we won't be getting DLC or anything, because the comment that this is all based on was from a Game Informer article where they said that the studio was cagey about pricing and other details when first discussing Fireteam. But studio head Craig Zinkovich later clarified that it was not going to be a live service title. In addition, he emphasized the importance of the game to exist on its own without charging players for a steady drip of loot boxes and other microtransactions. So that's more of the buzzword in terms of like the loot crate system and the was it RGB, RGN sort of stuff, RNG sort of stuff. So it doesn't preclude, I think, the release of more substantial additional content after the fact. You know, a big problem we have I have with Hunting Grounds is there's just not enough damn content for how regularly we do get like a new class or something. This 4 maps.
And that was one thing I was a little concerned about with this. They say 3 missions across 4 campaigns. So, I mean, we could probably burn through those pretty quickly. I don't know how long the missions are.
Yeah, it's going to depend how they structure it. It might just be that they're procedurally generated, but you have like 3 different types of mission. It might be like one search and destroy, another one is, you have to retrieve something, and it could be that there's plenty of maps. They just it's about combinations of different variables.
Yeah, we don't know how it's structured yet and how narratively driven these campaigns as such are going to be. Although I do suspect we'll have an indication of how long these things will be when IGN drops their gameplay reveal exclusive, because I think they mentioned a 20-minute thing. So on Thursday at I've put 9 p.m, but it's actually AM, 9 a.m. PT and 5 p.m. GMT on Thursday. IGN will be dropping some gameplay footage, and I think it was like 20 minutes worth.
We won't have too long to wait.
Yeah, so we'll actually get to see it in action.
Yeah, I think it's worth, in case anyone's watching this video they've not seen this news until now. We do not yet have it confirmed, yes or no, whether there'll be, like Left 4 Dead, where you can play as zombies. We don't yet know if you can also play as I would hope you can play as aliens.
I don't think that's what they're going for with this. I mean, I would like that if they added a PvP mode where you could play as aliens, maybe if this does well. But it seems like they're just going for the co-op shooter.
Yeah, it's.
But I mean, they did that really well with Left 4 Dead too. Like you could play as AI in Left 4 Dead, or as the enemies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would hope that's what because a lot of the news releases and stuff, I've seen a lot of comparison, quite rightly so, to Left 4 Dead. And if they are going down that route, especially if they're also trying to base it on Colonial Marines, because you had it in there as well, it would just be a weird thing where you're playing it, even if it's a decent game, it's entertaining, it would feel like, why don't they put that in?
I would love the option with a mode to play as aliens. I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't said they're going to do that. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it seems like an omission in the years following things like AVP. It genuinely just does now, especially since, this seems like a modern version of Aliens Online as well. Well, no, it's not a live service thing, so it's not really a modern version of Aliens Online, is it? But should we have a look at some of the screenshots?
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, there was another thing mentioned in Variety that I thought was interesting, which it says the game is from Cold Iron Studios, developed in collaboration with Disney's 20th Century Games unit. So I did not know that Disney had a 20th Century Games unit. I mean, we had Fox Next, which folded.
Yeah,
so
they took them over, and all we heard was that they'd closed Fox's one down. We didn't know it had been replaced. So
yeah, that's surprising. Anyway, some of the screenshots that have come out.
Some runner aliens there,
and I think that is that not the ACM company assault rifle?
I don't know. That one had a flamethrower built into it as well, didn't it? Or no?
I think it was one of the under.
It's got that kind of Steyr org thing that I remember Colonial Marines having as a thing. So I was hoping since Isolation, it was the one game where they acknowledged basically, Alien 3 and Alien. The Alien survived the plasma exhaust and it survived going submerged in molten lead. I thought after that game, we would finally get one where flamethrowers don't necessarily do damage, but they are definitely going back to that Colonial Marines.
Well, that would be weird because Alien Isolation, like the flamethrowers were the only thing that did do damage.
Well, it didn't, as far as I know, it made them sort of run away, but it didn't damage them, did it?
Aaron, go back a little bit. Two slides. Yeah, see, there's that hive you like, right?
I love me some hive. You can't do expanded.
It's done really well
without some hive.
It does look good.
Some nice reflective as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to point that it's not just the reflective light from the environment. It's also shown it's got dynamic lighting from the actual burst of flame is emissive in itself, and it's shining it up very nicely. Even only over the alien, it's got there on the dome. It's showing as well.
And we have what looks like a runner up top. Yep.
It's not got any dorsal tubes.
Well, I mean, there's going to be a variety of stuff in this, so you can't not have the runner.
Well,
you could. Something interesting.
How many enemy types did they say again?
11, I think it was. And we'll see a variety in here because
20 intelligent enemy types.
20. So this is some sort of Praetorian style thing
with a white head. Which that's not just lighting.
That makes me wonder about PvP if that's like an alien customization thing.
I was just going to say, yeah, it looks like a cosmetic.
There's our flamethrower smart gun, which is pretty cool.
See, I still think that looks like the Sonic.
That is just a flamethrower. You can see from the barrel.
I know, but it's the first flamethrower we've seen held like that, like a
yeah,
industrial strength. Now I think it looks like the Sonic weapon from Rogue, so I'd be interested to see how much they mine the EU, especially if they're going for as much weapon variety as they are.
And there was also a domed alien there.
This is cool.
Ridged and domes.
I will say, because we don't see it in Alien too often, I love it when the stations have like, well, I guess we see it more in the games, but I love it when stations have like glass, like hallways and stuff where you can see out into space.
Yeah, it's very BioShock where you can take in the whole.
Well, even as far back as like AVP Classic 2000, when you were on Gateway Station, there were these cool big
looking out,
big windows, and you could see out into space. So.
Like I think it's the first 2 minutes of the fourth mission of the Marine campaign, when you get to the space station in orbit, Odebenis or something like that, and you can turn around and see your dropship docked, and then a Predator ship comes flying by and just shoots it, and you then see it drifting off into space, which was cool.
Great moment of that game. We definitely need to do a Let's Play of that soon as well. And even the bit in Colonial Marines when you're just walking through the umbilical is one of the.
It was nicer in the the pre-release.
It was nicer, in the pre-release. Again, the aesthetic of the door, the aesthetic of the hive, everything looks great.
And here we have a look at some.
Oh god, that's a spitter.
Oh, yep,
that is a spitter.
I really don't have a problem with them because I think they're logical enemy units for a game.
For a game, yeah, but in terms of like canon,
it has like a rubber body. So I'm wondering if like the different types of aliens can become spitters, because the one on the right looks more like a typical warrior, and the one on the left looks like a runner spitter.
Yeah, I was going to say because of the legs, but yeah, I don't think that's got dorsal tooth.
No, that one doesn't. Yeah, this one.
See, I am thinking now more and more, like you said, these are cosmetic options for alien,
or just different variety in terms of the enemy. And the weapon's interesting there as well. Very Armati kind of style, but the stock's quite different.
That's cool. I mean, it still has that pulse rifle look, but it's definitely a bit more futuristic, as it should be set.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the 2010 AVP game where they slightly updated dropships, everything to.
I think it's a little bit more, because this is giving me vibes of XM8 meets pulse rifle.
Yeah,
so that's cool. When did we get to the one I really liked?
I have a big domed-headed alien there in a very Nostromo-esque hull.
And we saw that in the trailer as well. A giant alien, just sort of domed alien, just legging it down on somebody. Here we go. Here's the one I was looking forward to.
Oh, there's Working Joe's back there. I didn't notice that before.
Ah, shit! Yeah, I didn't see that before.
In the back right.
They look like they're in like Borg type alcoves there.
Well,
they work
like
they're
in
isolation.
Like that. They had them in isolation. Yeah. If you ever finished it, Eric, you'd know.
Yeah, well, glitches.
No. So I quite like this one because we've got some
cyber arm.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I did like in Clone Marines was it Winters? You were Winters. The captain, he had a cybernetic leg, and I dig that kind of thing.
A bit antiquated considering the time, though.
But that's the charm, the 80s retroness. But yeah, I'm really this is some cosmetic piece I actually quite like.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I mean, that doesn't look prosthetic. It looks more like an exoskeletal thing for lifting heavy loads.
The runner looks good, actually.
It looks a bit wide. It could just be me. I'm talking about the rib cage. It's like jutting out a bit there.
Yeah, I guess
it might just be the angle. What's that thing?
And a shotgun as well. We get some retro shotguns as well. Somebody had one strapped to their back in the trailer.
Close encounters.
So,
that makes me wonder if you're limited to a certain number of weapons. Then, if they're showing them strapped to you instead of taking them out of an invisible.
That's a pretty frequent modern mechanic is a limit. So I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like that because it makes it more realistic.
Okay, so I don't think there's really too much else to say on the game at the minute, is there? I mean, it's coming out on Steam, it's coming out on old gen, and it's coming out on new gen.
Is this the one that was talked about as an MMO?
It's the one we all thought was going to be like Destiny.
So the other one is yet to come out.
No, this is it. This is
the only game. Okay.
This is the only game we've known of that's been coming. Yeah. We all thought it was going to be like Destiny. The vibe seems to be not, but we'll see when we get more details in terms of the looter shooter. It's definitely not an open world looter shooter. It seems to be more mission driven.
And if you are looking for anyone to play with once this comes out, we do have a Steam group that we just kind of relaunched, and it's growing a bit. We'll have a link for that in the description below. It'll be good to have some game nights with this again.
Oh god, yeah, we used to so enjoy the game nights with 2010 and Colonial Marines, didn't we?
I would love to play Colonial Marines PvP again. So I know there's a Colonial Marines group on Steam as well. It's still relatively active. It'd be cool to, like, in celebration of this, like, play some PvP rounds again.
Nothing's stopping us, man. We can do that.
Yeah, true. Well, I suppose enthusiasm might be.
Well, I've got it loaded, so.
Okay. So we'll get our actual look at some lengthy and complete gameplay on Thursday. So keep an eye out for that. We'll of course be posting it as soon as it hits the web on avpgalaxy.net. And all our activities on avpgalaxy.net. You'll find our message boards, and you can come and join in with us and nerd out about this new stuff. And we're also on all the socials: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, nearly forgot the big one there, and of course YouTube, because you're watching it on YouTube.
All the big techs.
Indeed. I'm just glad this was finally announced. I mean,
me too.
It's really timely too, given we're approaching Alien Day, and this is the 35th anniversary of the second film, Aliens. This game coming out in the summer, I think, will be a great way to celebrate that anniversary.
Recapture some of the nostalgia.
And the prequel novel, I believe, is out in April, so that's not far off as well. So we should be getting...
Yeah, so it gives us an indication of possible release time.
Well, it's a summer, so it could be.
Won't be before April.
No, I imagine June, July time. Well, to be fair, we did get the prequel novel for Hunter's Ground after Hunter's Ground came out, so I wouldn't...
Oh, true. Yes.
That never means anything, I don't think.
No, that's true.
But anyway, how are you guys and girls feeling about the new game? Good first impressions, bad first impressions? Let us know down below what you're thinking. Thank you for watching. This has been Corporal Hicks.
Ridgetop.
Xenomorphine.
Signing off.